Welcome everybody to episode 38 of Sports Stuff Hub Live. I'm Ryan with Sports Stuff Hub. Today is Tuesday, June 15th. We are already halfway through June. I cannot believe this year is just sailing by the way it is. It's been a roller coaster of a year for me. I'm sure for many others as well. This year has been definitely fun and an experience for me, with the business taking off and launching the website and everything else that's going on business-wise. It's been a stressful year. It's been a fun year. It's been it's been one to remember, that's for sure. Obviously, coming out of the 2020 year of the COVID, we'll call it, definitely has changed life overall. But it's made it so that I could do something that I really enjoy doing and that I'm passionate about, and that it's something I could do that I can support my family doing. And that was one of the things, being able to have a business where I'm able to pay the bills, and I'm able to really put my passion and drive into what I do every day. I literally am surrounded by sports for my entire job right now, and it's a lot of fun. Between the show on Tuesday nights that you're watching now, break night on Wednesdays, running the website, which entails sports cards, Funko Pops, just managing the overall logistics of the website, working on advertising, working on budgets and all that kind of stuff, ordering product, sorting cards, packaging cards, shipping cards, talking to people about cards, going to card shows on the weekends, and it's been a lot of fun. So we're already now halfway through June, and yeah, when the end of the year rolls around, I'm excited to see where we're at. Growth is continuing to happen. I've been talking about it a lot on social media lately. Posting analytics for the website, the traffic we're getting, the sales we're getting, which has been phenomenal. Way better than what I anticipated when I launched the website in January. The amount of traffic alone has superseded my expectations for the entire year. So it's fun. I'm looking forward to the next step. And as things continue to flourish and as it continues to grow, hiring people is one of the next steps. We have a storage unit that's coming, that's going to be installed on the property this month, in a couple weeks actually, and that's going to help immensely with giving us more room to work, but also giving us the ability to remodel the house and the office and everything, so that everything's, we can get stuff out of the way. It's going to be in a climate controlled area, not within the house or the office, and that way we can expand. And then hopefully, once we get the remodel going and done, and get the studio built and handled, then I can start hiring some people, and we can start moving forward even more. And that's kind of the goals that we have for this year. We did have some setbacks with our remodel. Our drain field is not located where we were hoping. Turned out that it's way closer to the house than we expected, and adding on to the house is not going to be as easy as we thought. We have to change up the design quite a bit. I actually have to go through and redo some general layouts that we're looking at to give to our architect so that he can redo drawings based on the new dimensions that we're going to be having to fall within. Needless to say, a lot of work being redone now. So, but it is what it is, and we're taking it in stride, and yeah, hopefully everything's going to be taken off here soon, and it should be a lot of fun. Yeah, so into the card world, we might as well just jump right into the card world to start with. Upcoming products coming out for next week. We have, well, actually, excuse me, this week, sorry. On my list here, Impeccable Basketball drops tomorrow. This was one of the products that, this was the product we were trying to do for the May loyalty break, but it got pushed back to mid-June, so we couldn't do it for May loyalty break. But then I also lost my allocation on it, which, let's not get into that right now, but that comes out tomorrow. On Friday, we have two products coming out. We have Panini Mosaic Draft Football, which is an online exclusive only through Panini's website. That comes out Friday the 18th. And I know a lot of people are disgruntled about this one because literally half of Mosaic's rookies last year were all in their collegiate uniforms anyways. So there's a little sourness in the mouths of a lot of collectors because of last year. So Panini is going to drop Mosaic Draft Football. Sage also releases Hit Premier Draft High Series Football on Friday as well. If you have hobby shops in your area for this weekend on Sunday is Father's Day, and Panini releases their Father's Day promotion packs, which you can get through your local card shops based on buying Panini products at the card shop. I don't have the full details of it. I've talked to a few of my local card shops in this area, and they didn't even know if they were getting the promo packs. So we'll see if, who's getting what and whatnot. I mean, in years past when I was breaking, I got a lot of the promo packs for stuff like this, and I was told that breakers are not getting this year's Panini Father's Day packs. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. But yeah, so check your local card shops starting Sunday for the Father's Day packs. Those are a lot of fun. They're a multi-sport pack, and they usually have a base set and about 3 or 4 subsets, but then they also have typically have had patch cards, jersey cards, memorabilia cards, as well as parallels in those sets, and autographed cards as well. Typically, they do pretty good with these bonus packs, so it should be a lot of fun. Staying on the sports card topic, this past weekend was the Twin Oaks Sports Cards and Collectibles Show in Portland, Oregon at Mall 205, and it was the first time that it has been a 2-day show in at least 6 years. So I've been doing the Twin Oaks circuit for about 6 years now, and it's never been a 2-day show that I've seen. So this was the first time it had been a 2-day show in at least 6 years. I'm being told 10. So Saturday had a pretty solid turnout. The last few months had kind of slowed down on that show. Saturday ended up being a pretty steady turnout. It wasn't overwhelming by any stretch of the imagination. It wasn't a massive amount of people by any stretch of the imagination, but it was just steady most of the day. I don't know what it was like Sunday, though. I have not talked to anybody that went to it on Sunday. We only went down for Saturday to set up, and we came back Saturday night. But I know Saturday was a lot of fun. Got to meet quite a few new collectors, got to meet quite a few people I've talked to in the past, and got to see a lot of familiar faces, so it was a lot of fun. The next show, sorry, I got something in my eye. The next show that we have coming is the Twin Oaks Cards and Collectibles Show at the Auburn Outlet Mall in Auburn, Washington. Not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, which would be Saturday, Sunday, the 26th and 27th. This is Washington's largest and longest running card show. This show has been moved from recently as last year, the Factoria Mall. Now it's at the Auburn Outlet. And it's done very well at that mall. It's flourished. It has grown even bigger than what most people would have anticipated. It is 2 days, and it's got a wait list. It's a very big show. I would highly recommend, if you're in the area, to go check it out. If you're from out of the area and you're looking for a untapped market to get to, I would definitely advise coming to town for it. Saturday and Sunday, and a lot of times there are some different vendors, because some vendors just don't want to set up both days. So there are some vendors that are only Saturday and some are only Sunday. So it's worth it to go both days. Check it all out. I highly recommend it. Everything from sports cards, vintage to ultra modern, raw, graded, all the different grading companies. People have them all for sale. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, pretty much any kind of collectible cards you can think of. Sports memorabilia in general, jerseys, all kinds of autographed items, comic books, different toys, collectibles, Funkos, anything from Funko Pops to the Funko action figures, many different things. It's a big show. It's anywhere from 70 to 80 tables a day on average, and they're just jam-packed. This is a show we set up both days at. We do 2 tables, one of sports cards, one of Funko Pops. We bring 350 Funko Pops to this card show, and we do very well on the Funko side. We do very well on the sports card side. We have a big display case. I've got about 8 boxes jam-packed with dollar cards, $2 cards, and then $2 or 2 boxes filled with individually priced cards up to $99, and then the display case is $100 and up. But it's a lot of fun. Great time to talk to collectors. It's one of my favorite shows to do, just because of the amount of collectors that show up and the people that I get to talk to. It's a lot of fun. So I highly recommend the Twin Oaks Cards and Collectibles Show at the Auburn Outlet Mall in Auburn, Washington. Coming up Saturday, Sunday, June 26th and 27th. Before we get into the sports cards, or the sports side of things, and step away from sports cards momentarily, there's been a lot of drama on social media lately, and it's social media. I fully expect it, but there's been so many oddball things that have happened lately, from a guy who left negative feedback over getting 62 bonus cards in a package, and I get it. He's an Indy fan. He bought an Indianapolis Colts card on eBay. The guy sent him, the seller sent him Jacksonville Jaguars, 62 Jacksonville Jaguars cards as protection. He felt he was being trolled, left negative feedback. The stupidity of the whole situation just blows my mind. The fact that somebody would go out of their way to leave negative feedback about it instead of just dumping the cards. My main concern, number one, would be that the card showed up in the condition I'm expecting it to show up in, and it's protected, and it's the service level that I'm expecting, that I paid for. The troll job of obviously it being a Jaguars stack of cards to an indie collector, it's actually kind of funny. But to take your pettiness to a level of leaving negative feedback just astounds me. And this guy just got absolutely obliterated on social media. And multiple breakers have actually gotten a hold of the seller and helped him and given him some exposure and whatnot. And the whole thing just got blown up out of proportion, in my opinion. But I mean, it didn't help that the buyer, the guy who left the negative feedback, was being such a clown about the whole thing. it's like he really, I mean, even if he had left the negative feedback and just kept his mouth shut, but instead he decided to vent on social media, thinking he was going to have a slug of people in his corner, and it turned out he's an idiot. So, you know, I don't say that all that often directed at specific people, but that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen, to go and blast somebody about that, expecting to get people in your corner on social media and just get absolutely destroyed in the responses. It was comical to read, even though it was just repetition. It was the same thing over. Everybody had the same opinion, outside of, you know, a few people, but it just was one of the most ridiculous things. And then then we go to another topic of a guy saying that people are only tough guys behind a keyboard or something along those lines, and gets into a fight with another collector, and then he's trying to big talk after saying that, you know, people would never talk this way in real life, and just the absolute ignorance. But it's, again, it's social media. I do a really good job, I think, of muting and avoiding certain accounts, the over dramatic accounts, the people who are always caught up in drama. I tend to mute. The people who are just obnoxious, the people who are, I don't want to say overly opinionated, because I don't really have an issue with overly opinionated people, but the people who attack others, or the people who are hypocrites. I mean, there's a lot of hypocrisy on social media, and I see it every day. And I don't block many people. The eBay buyer that left the negative feedback, that was an easy block. But the hypocrites, the drama people, I don't block that typically. I mute that. And I like to think I've done a pretty good job of cleaning my timeline, so to speak, to keep that kind of stuff off my timeline. I know there's a handful of people that have a rather large following that are blatantly obnoxious in the way they talk to people and the way they respond to people, and some people get a kick out of it, and I don't really care. I have muted a lot of those accounts because I literally cannot I can't listen to the stupidity that comes out of some of their mouths, or I should say that types out of their fingertips. So I just tend to mute them because it helps my psyche, and it keeps the drama off my timeline for the most part, because those people are constantly in the thick of drama on social media. And to be quite honest, social media is very drama filled. If it wasn't for having a sports card business or being involved in sports cards, I probably wouldn't even be on social media. I don't really, outside of a number of people that I've gotten to know pretty well within sports and sports cards, I don't talk to many people about outside of sports related content. I don't talk to that many people about other stuff, and that's kind of by choice. And I know some people probably think that I'm too focused on sports or sports cards for it, but that's kind of why I created my account as Sports Stuff Hub, and I'm not Ryan at Sports Stuff Hub. I do bring a little bit of the humanity into the account on occasion, but I tend to keep it more focused and streamlined on just the content of sports cards, sports, fantasy, that kind of stuff, and collectibles, because that's what it is to me. It's a business account. But like I said, I've had this account for a number of years, and I've made a lot of friends using it, but I typically don't get too deep into the personal side of it on my social media. And as I was saying, if it wasn't for if I didn't have Sports Stuff Hub, if I hadn't created Sports Stuff Hub back in I created the brand at the end of 2015. If I hadn't done that, I probably wouldn't have gotten on social media. I got on Twitter in 2016 with Sports Stuff Hub. I created my brand already by that point, and I got onto Twitter using that handle with my logo, and because I was creating a business, I was creating a brand, and so keeping it as a brand was, and as a company, was kind of the business, or was kind of the goal. But again, like I said, I met a lot of great people and forged some friendships, and especially now, if I were to leave social media behind, I would definitely have a long list of people to keep in touch with. But had I not created Sports Stuff Hub, I would have never gotten onto social media. I was never into social media to begin with. I had Facebook for a personal account of mine a number of years ago, and I didn't like using it. I just don't like social media for a personal side. And not to get into a rant about this at all, but it was one of those things where when I first got it was right when my ex-wife and I split up, and it was more as a tool for my family to be able to see pictures of my son. That's kind of what it was meant for. Updates on us, and for my family to see pictures of my son, because my ex-wife, usually handled that stuff. So I got into it for that purpose. Had it for a couple of years, and the longer I used Facebook, the more I hated it, and I started getting to the point where I would go gaps without using it. And the biggest things that turned me off, number one, was people just randomly finding me from high school and whatnot, that I had zero interest in talking to. And I went to a small high school, by the way. I graduated with 45 people in my class. And when I was on Facebook, obviously, a lot of them knew my family and followed some of my family members. And so then here comes Ryan, and they add me on Facebook. And I was like, I added a few against my better judgment, and then all comes the drama, all the small town crap that was the reason I left where I did when I was in high school. I went to college, I got out of the area, I didn't want to go back to it, I didn't want to go back to that small town, high school, cliquey, drama, I didn't want that. And so people started coming out of the woodwork, and I didn't enjoy that. So I kind of stopped using Facebook for a little while. Well, then my birthday rolls around, and obviously on Facebook it blows up when you have your birthday. Everybody can friggin' see it. And so I logged back in like a month after my birthday, and I've got 80 billion frickin' alerts, and I'm literally then getting messages from people who wished me a happy birthday, who are now pestering me that I didn't respond, or I didn't like that, or I didn't like the post, and I didn't say thank you, I didn't acknowledge them. And I'm just like, I literally had 60, 70 people just up my ass about it. I'm like, whoa, I didn't even log in. You can see timestamps on stuff back in the day. I don't know if you still can, but I'm just like, this is ridiculous. This is just stupid. And so I was like, no, I don't have time for this drama crap. I got a life to live. And so I kind of stepped away again for a little bit. Well, then I logged back in, and I started using it again a little bit more, posting pictures of of my son, me and my son, for my my family to see, and I get friend requests from people from my high school that I haven't talked to in 10 years, and I really had no interest in talking to them, and I was just kind of like, okay, all right, I'm not gonna accept this, and so I decline a handful of friend requests from people that I didn't care to be friends with on social media. And all of a sudden I start getting messages from these people that I denied the request, and they were just like, "Oh, you're too good to be friends with us. Oh, why, what's wrong? Why won't you be friend? Why can't we be Facebook friends?" And I'm just like, we didn't really even know each other back when I lived back there, and why do we need to be friends? I mean, we weren't friends back then. I don't know why we need to be now. And so it was like, it just got really awkward. I ended up having to block some people because they got so butthurt that I wouldn't accept their friend requests. They kept just badgering me with messages, and I'm just like, this is so stupid. Now at this point, even if I accepted the friend request, now there's animosity, and you've just created an uncomfortable situation. So even if we see each other again in the future, I'm going to avoid you. And so it like I said, it got so disgusting and gross being on Facebook. It was so toxic and drama filled, and I was just like, so I just deleted my account, and haven't been onto it on a personal side in 10 years, and works for me. I have my business account, Facebook.com/Sports Stuff Hub. Everybody can see that. But I do not have a personal account. I had to create another personal account to have the business account, but that personal account is virtually empty. It is a private account. There's nothing on it. There's literally nothing. I don't post on it, nothing. So I have to have that active to have the business page, but the business page is the only thing I'm active on. And people can check that out, and that's fine, because I'm not interacting as me. I'm interacting as Sports Stuff Hub, which that was the goal behind it. But anyway, so social media rant over. There was a lot of drama on Twitter the last 7 days, and do yourselves a favor when you find those over dramatic, drama-filled tweets, responses, the fights, all that kind of stuff. Use that mute button. Get it out of your timeline. Your days will be so much better. I will tell you right now, I enjoy my timeline a lot more with a lot of those people gone. Or muted, I should say. And I just realized you guys can probably barely hear me because I had the microphone like 5 feet away from me. Hopefully that's better now. And hopefully you guys could hear that, because that was 30 minutes worth of talking. So, okay, now that we've talked sports cards, we've talked a little bit of Twitter drama, social media drama. Thank you all for joining episode 38 of Sports Stuff Hub. It's a fun one. It's a fun one. I cannot wait until the studio's built and I can have people in studio, and this show is gonna not suck. Okay, so let's get into some sports talk. So some things that we're going to talk about tonight, just so we're going to kind of cover a few things here. Number one, we're going to talk about Julio Jones being traded to the Titans. We're going to talk about rookie quarterbacks in the NFL. We're going to talk about training camps. We're going to talk about the Madden 2022. We're gonna cover a lot of stuff tonight. So it's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a good night. It's going to be hopefully entertaining for you guys. I see a few guys chimed in. Sorry, I didn't have my chat screen up, but hey Taylor and hey Donnie. hopefully I didn't bore you guys to death with my social media rant there to start things off. So let's start off with Julio Jones. If you've been living under a frickin' rock for the last month, everybody knew that Julio Jones was not going to be with the Atlanta Falcons this coming season. The Falcons were admitted they were shopping him. Julio had admitted that he was not going to be rejoining the Falcons this year. Now that was in itself was controversial with the way that came out, because Shannon Sharpe, an interesting character to begin with on his TV show, called Julio Jones, did not declare that he was on air when he called him, and Julio said he was not returning to the Falcons without knowing he was on television. So, big buffoon mistake by Shannon Sharpe. And I haven't really paid attention to Shannon Sharpe since then, because I don't really watch him anyways. He's great entertainment. Don't get me wrong, great entertainment. I don't watch many of the TV shows. I got rid of my cable. The only thing I have is Sling at this point. I freaking hate cable. I really do. It's overpriced, number one. It's part of it. But I also don't really like Comcast Xfinity. I don't. I wish there was a way I could get rid of Xfinity completely. But here we sit. At some point, I would love to have fiber optic run to our house, but who knows when that'll happen. But anyway, so I don't even know if anything happened to Shannon Sharpe with that. I don't know if Julio pursued anything or if his legal team pursued anything, but I know that call, it came out that was not known beforehand by Julio that he was on TV. So, big mistake by Shannon Sharpe. Anyway, so drama continues. Teams constantly trying to make calls for him and stuff. Falcons were looking for a number one. Nobody really wanted to give up a number one. Some of the teams that were interested didn't have number ones that potentially would have given up a number one. For example, Kyle Shanahan with the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan very much knows Julio Jones and is very close to the Falcons organization, obviously being the offensive coordinator for the Falcons during their Super Bowl run. Unfortunately, though, Kyle Shanahan did not have a first-round draft pick to play with, because they traded away their first-round picks next year and the following year to move up to draft Trey Lance, which the future of their team. Hey, not knocking you at all for that one. I think Trey Lance is going to be a friggin' stud. So, obviously. So, they were kind of out of the picture, thinking that it was going to take a number one. Well, this weekend, actually last weekend, we get a clear picture that Julio Jones traded to the Tennessee Titans. And not only did he get traded, but the Falcons also traded a 2023 sixth-round pick along with Julio. And in return, the Falcons got a second-round pick in 22 and a fourth-round pick in 23 with a conditional, with a condition on it. If the Titans get a compensation pick, compensatory pick, fourth round, this coming year, or in 23 actually, they'll get the compensation pick. If they don't get if the Titans aren't awarded a compensatory pick, they will get the Falcons will then get the Titans just standard fourth round pick. So either way, they're getting a fourth round pick in return. So the Falcons gave up the two picks, but also ditched $15 million off their salary cap for this year. Now, the reason why that is so vital to them, the Falcons had less than $1 million in salary cap space prior to the Julio Jones trade. How bad does that sound? Here's the thing. After the 21 NFL draft, the Falcons could not sign any of their draft picks because they did not have the cap space to sign them. So, trading Julio Jones was the likely scenario in order to give them the space to be able to sign those draft picks. And since then, I believe they've signed at least 2 of them. So, the Titans, in order to get the deal done, had to free up some space. So, they had to rework some contracts. They did so, making the trade official. The Titans pick up $15 million on their contract, or on their salary cap. The Falcons ditch $15 million, pick up a 22 second and a 23 fourth. And Atlanta signs their rookie class. It's kind of a win-win. Now, who's extremely happy, or I should say, let's just start off with who's happy about this deal. Number 1, A.J. Brown. Hands down, A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown was looking at lower stats this year without Corey Davis. A.J. Brown has struggled when he's doubled. He has. There's no denying that. He has not been a standalone force in the wide receiver core. It's kind of the same thing what happened with Juju Smith-Schuster when Antonio Brown left. A.J. Brown does really well when he's got somebody else to take the heat off of him. Juju and Antonio Brown. A.J. Brown has done well when Corey Davis was on the field. When Corey Davis is not on the field, A.J. Brown has struggled. Well, Corey Davis, free agent this past offseason, ends up going to the Jets. Now he doesn't have a partner. Okay? So, Julio back on the field now takes a lot of that pressure and frees up A.J. Brown. Because if they keep the pressure on A.J. Brown, Julio's going to feast. I don't give a crap if he's 32 years old. You cannot leave him exposed. He will destroy your secondary. Simple as that. So, A.J. Brown, most happy first. Number 2, Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill in 26 starts since taking over for the Tennessee Titans starting quarterback gig from Marcus Mariota has put up almost identical stats to another pretty well-known quarterback by the name of Patrick Mahomes. In the last 26 starts, Ryan Tannehill has amassed more touchdowns than Mahomes, only 400 yards less, a higher quarterback rating, a higher passer efficiency, completion percentage. Nobody would have guessed that. Ryan Tannehill has quietly been a stud. After his tenure with the Miami Dolphins, where he kind of shat the bed, it's more and more looking like it was the Gase effect. Because Tannehill's just gotten better and better every single week. He has played very well. Now, a lot of people say, Tennessee Titans a run-heavy team. 61% highest in the NFL. Second highest. I think Ravens are number 1. But 61%. Doesn't matter. They got Derrick Henry. If I had Derrick Henry, I'd run the ball 61% of the time too. What matters is that when Tannehill has the ball in his hands, he's efficient. I want to say it's 66% completion percentage over his last 26 starts. That's pretty damn good completion percentage. And to be 400 yards behind a former league MVP, a back-to-back Super Bowl participant quarterback, has more touchdowns, I'd say he's in good company. Now he's going to have Julio Jones to throw to. All right, so who's the third person happy? Got to be Derrick Henry. Teams can't stack the box. You stack the box, Tannehill calls an audible, and all of a sudden Julio's off to the races. Derrick Henry's going to feast this year. Now, I don't believe that Derrick Henry is going to quite have a successful year like he did last year, where he put up 2,000 plus yards. Keep in mind, Derrick Henry's offensive coordinator from last year is in Atlanta right now as the head coach, Arthur Smith. So, now you have an issue of a new offensive coordinator coming in. You have an issue of a different offensive scheme. You have a new, maybe not primary wide receiver, but a big-time wide receiver. It may not mesh 100%, but if you got Derrick Henry and he still puts up 1,400 yards, you can't argue that he had a failure season. That is still a damn good season. It's not 2,000, but it's still a pretty damn good season. So I wouldn't argue with that. If all of a sudden they become a more balanced offense and they're only running the ball 55% of the time, and Derrick Henry puts up 1,500 yards, and Ryan Tannehill throws for 4,500 yards, that's a balanced offense. And Julio is partly responsible for that. Now, who is the most happy over this trade? This one might shock you a little bit. Before I get into that, I'm going to get to the comments section. Tannehill is a sneaky awesome pick for best ball and other season-long formats. Correct. Thank you for pointing that out, Donnie. He is. He is a very sneaky talent. And a lot of people don't realize that. He actually was very good in fantasy and in other types of formats last year because of his efficiency. All right. Moving over to who's the most happy over the Julio trade. And I said this one could shock you. I wasn't kidding. Calvin Ridley. Yes. Calvin Ridley, his former counterpart in Atlanta. Now, why would Calvin Ridley be ecstatic over Julio leaving? Sure, they got along. Yeah. Calvin Ridley probably learned a ton from Julio Jones. Mentor. But, listen to this. Calvin Ridley, with Julio Jones on the field, in 25 games playing alongside Julio Jones, has only topped 100 receiving yards in a game twice in 25 games playing with Julio Jones. You know how many times he's achieved at least 6 receptions in a game playing with Julio Jones? 4 times. 4 times. Okay? This is a guy who finished in the top 10 in receiving yards in 2020. 4 times playing alongside Julio Jones in 25 games, amassed 6 or more receptions. And only twice did he see 100 receiving yards. In 8 games with Julio out, 8 games during Calvin Ridley's career that Julio Jones did not play, in those 8 games, Calvin Ridley's averages 7.25 receptions, 11.1 targets, 107 receiving yard average. Okay? He's averaging 107 receiving yards when Julio's off the field. 8 games. Just think about that. In 8 games without Julio, 107 receiving yards. Average. Okay? So when I say Calvin Ridley is ecstatic that Julio Jones is no longer with the Falcons, I mean it. Now, who's sad about Julio Jones going to Tennessee? Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan and Julio have been friends for years. Is it sad that his number one target over that duration of time is gone? Yeah. Is he going to miss him? Sure. As a friend, yeah. But Calvin Ridley's already putting up the production to make up for it. In walks tight end Kyle Pitts. Now, instead of a 1-2 combo wide receiver, you have a 1-2 combo wide receiver tight end, shades of Tony Gonzalez. And now all of a sudden you have a very electric tight end who, if he puts up 60 receptions and 800 yards, that's a massive season for a rookie tight end. Calvin Ridley could easily throw up 100 plus receptions and 1,400 yards. He's already putting up those averages. 100 yards, 107 yards per game over 17 games. There's a good chance that Calvin Ridley's going to cross 2,000 yards. 7.25 receptions per game over 17 weeks. He's going to put up 120 receptions. Yeah, Matt Ryan's not going to miss Julio. He's going to miss his friend. He's not going to miss the production. Add in the fact that Mike Davis signed with Atlanta. Mike Davis is looking strong at running back. They're going to be a good team this year. At least I think they're going to be. But who else is sad about Julio going to Tennessee? The defensive backs of every team that Tennessee has to play this year. Because now they have to deal with Julio and A.J. Brown on the same field at the same time, running routes, and still have to worry about Derrick Henry. Yeah. That trade shook up the NFL. Absolutely did. The Colts may not be the favorite to win. With Carson Wentz going to the Colts, this could be big time change where Tennessee's going to be solidified as the number one. Tennessee's defense needs to step it up. Colts defense is still good. Carson Wentz is going to be shredding people. He's going to get back to form. Indy may not have that clear path to the division. Jacksonville's not winning it this year. Houston's... I don't even know what's going on with Houston right now. This is ridiculous. I mean, Deshaun Watson has now gone ghost, apparently. I don't know what's going on in that whole saga, but it's crazy. Deshaun Watson's just gone AWOL from what I've seen. So now you're looking at a buffed up Titans offense, a really stout Indy defense with a pretty potent offense between Jonathan Taylor running the rock, Carson Wentz at quarterback, Michael Pittman, Paris Campbell comes back this year, and T.Y. Hilton. You know, before the Julio Jones acquisition, I thought the Colts had a clear path right to being the division champs. Now it looks like it could be a lot closer than what we anticipated. So, we'll see how that turns out. Welcome, Mr. Miller. Houston's going to ball this year. Yeah, if they get pinball machines in the locker room, maybe. that organization is, they're in trouble. Yeah, I love your optimism, Dave. I really do, bud. Oh boy. Yeah, lots of. I asked this question before. Could we see five rookie quarterbacks start week 1? That would be a first time in NFL history, I believe. I I think it's possible. Here's what's been happening so far. We're in training camp still. We all know that. We're in 7-on-7 drills. We're in no pads. We're just running drills right now for the NFL. So don't take anything seriously yet. Lawrence has been up and down. That's been reported multiple times. But he's been reported as being the second coming of the GOAT send to the NFL since he was a freshman in high school. He's the ordained one. He is the savior of all that is NFL-y. That's been predicted. It's in Scripture. If I read it, I'm sure it would be in there. He's going to start week 1. We all know that. By the way, Gardner Minshew shaved off his mullet. I know that's disappointing to a lot of people. Get over it. But it's disappointing to a lot of people. He's not getting the starting job back. He's not. He's just not. That's not going to happen. Zach Wilson is adapting to life in New York City and had to block his mom on social media because his mom apparently doesn't like the hooers that are all hitting up his son, or her son, sorry. And that was an interesting day. But I haven't heard a lot about Zach Wilson throwing the ball. So now granted, I don't pay a lot of attention to the Jets for many reasons. But Zach Wilson's the number one there. We know that. He was drafted to take over. He was drafted to be the guy. Sam Darnold was shipped out to clear the way for Zach Wilson. Okay, so there's 2. The number 3 overall pick. Nothing's been said about Trey Lance being the starter. Everything was pointing to Jimmy G maintaining his role, and when Trey's ready, Trey comes in. But if you read reports and read interviews with the players, Trey Lance is the guy. He's a guy. I don't want to say that I told you guys so, but I kind of told you guys so since he was a freshman throwing his first touchdown pass. This was going to be the case. You got Kittle coming out and saying he looks phenomenal. You got Ayuk saying he looks phenomenal. All these guys, his whole team's coming out, and they're just impressed. Now, if you have a guy that you traded up to get, and he looks to be outplaying your incumbent starting quarterback, do you start the rookie? That's a question that Shanahan's going to have to deal with sooner or later. That's going to come out. Okay? Well, moving over to the 4th quarterback off the board for the Bears, Justin Fields. And his teammates are praising him. He's looking solid. He's looking like he's as advertised. He's making throws. He's connecting with his receivers. His receivers are loving it. Andy Dalton supposedly is struggling. Moving over to New England, the 5th quarterback off the board. Mind you, in the first round. Mac Jones struggled day one, but then rebounded. Cam struggled yesterday. Mac Jones was connecting, throwing touchdown passes, connecting with his receivers, with his tight ends, and he looks like he could be as advertised. So could we have 5? And then Matt Nagy comes out, head coach of the Bears, and says, no. Andy Dalton's our quarterback. He's our QB1. He's our starter. That to me just said that Justin Fields is going to start day one. That's what I heard. That's shades of 2012 with Russell Wilson. Matt Flynn brought in. That's all I heard. Matt Flynn's our starter. Russell Wilson ends up winning the job. And he starts week 1. Justin Fields looks like it's going to be the same thing. They brought in Andy Dalton. Remember, the Chicago Bears put up the on social media, QB1, with a picture of Andy Dalton on Twitter, Instagram, probably on their Facebook. Do they use Facebook? Do teams use Facebook? I don't know. But QB1. Andy Dalton, QB1. Yeah. And then they trade up and draft Justin Fields. QB1. But Matt Nagy says no. Andy Dalton's QB1. It's June. It's June 15th. There's 2.5 months till the first game. We got preseason to go through. We got a lot of training camps to go through. Matt Nagy's going to be singing a different tune come week 1. That's exactly what that quote told me. He Kyle Shanahan'd it. We'll call it that. Okay? But I'm telling you, guys, unprecedented. And we're going to talk about this more in a later episode. Because several months ago, we talked about quarterback saturation point. Where we sat in the NFL with quarterbacks. How many quarterbacks there were available. How many quarterbacks were needed to fill rosters. How many quarterbacks were moving to different teams. Quarterback saturation point. And I sat here in January and said that I did not believe 5 quarterbacks would go off the board in not just the first round, but in the top half of the first round of the draft. I said that myself. I was wrong. 5 quarterbacks in the top 15 picks of the draft. And we're looking at potentially NFL history being made with 5 day 1 starting rookie quarterbacks. 5. 5 rookie quarterbacks drafted in the top 15, all 5 starting day 1. That's reality. That's not a pipe dream. That's reality. One of these weeks, when I get more time to sit down and go through it, I'm going to go back through that show where we talked about quarterback saturation. And I'm going to find every single quarterback that was on my list, where they are right now. And we're going to go through it all. Because remember, it wasn't just 5 quarterbacks drafted. We're talking about 5 in the top 15. There was 7 other quarterbacks drafted in the draft. I think it was 7. Maybe it was 9. But 7, at least 7 other quarterbacks drafted. 5 in the top 15. I can't recall the last time we had more than 3 start day 1. Not even last year. Last year in the first round, we had 4 drafted in the first round. We had Joe Burrow, we had Tua, we had Justin Herbert, and we had Jordan Love. Jordan Love still has yet to even play. Burrow was the only day one starter. Tua did not start day one. Ryan Fitzpatrick did. Justin Herbert did not start day one. Tyrod Taylor did. Joe Burrow was the only day one starting quarterback from last year's draft class. We're about to see history. But we will talk about quarterback saturation point in another episode. Which leads us to David Miller. Lawrence, Wilson, Fields, Lance, Jones, Davis Mills is a sneaky sixth rookie. Ian Book and Kellen Mond to start week 1-2. Never know. The first 5 you listed, Dave, yes. The next 3 is a pipe dream. Jameis Winston's going to start for the Saints. Davis Mills is not going to start. And Kellen Mond is not going to start. I think Kellen Mond could potentially see time if Kirk Cousins struggles. Maybe Kellen Mond starts week 1 next year, but I don't believe Kellen Mond sees the field until at least, barring injury. Let me rephrase what I just said. Let's take that a step back. Barring injury. Davis Mills is not going to start. He's not going to. They're just not going to start him. He wasn't drafted to be the guy. There's other people in front of him that have starting caliber aspirations and talent. Ian Book. Sean Payton would roll out Taysom Hill before Ian Book. Let's just face facts here. Sean Payton's erection for Taysom Hill knows no bounds. There's a reason why Taysom Hill is still on that roster. And Sean Payton is not going to give up on him. He's just not going to. Now, I do believe that Jameis Winston will be the starting quarterback for the Saints. But Ian Book's not going to... He's probably not even going to see the field unless Jameis Winston gets hurt. I just don't believe it. Yes, could. Sorry. I missed the next part. Could. But unlikely. I honestly believe you're at probably a less than a 0.0001% chance of seeing Mills, Mond, or Book, any of those 3 start day 1. You're at 0.000001% chance. And that would be only if there was major injuries. I really don't see it happening. I think we have a higher chance of seeing Deshaun Watson starting day 1 than any of those 3. Just my opinion. Okay, so moving back over where I was going to go after the rookie quarterback talk. Do we care about training camp and 7-on-7 drills and how a quarterback performs? Do we give a crap? Do we really? I mean, let's face some facts here, people. In 7-on-7 drills, quarterbacks are not aiming on destroying their opponent. They are working on timing. They are working on execution. They're working on footwork. They're working on their mechanics. They're working on leading receivers in certain ways. They aren't trying to destroy their opponents and run 70-yard touchdown plays. Tua threw 5 interceptions today in 7-on-7 drills, and the NFL world basically said that he needs to be benched. It's freaking 7-on-7 in June. No one cares. Tua is going to have a fantastic year this year. I don't care what his 7-on-7 on June 15th was. I do not care. Tua has been built around. He's going to be electric this year. Mark my words. 7-on-7 drills, I don't care. He could throw an interception every time he touches the ball tomorrow. I don't care. He is literally practicing. He is working on mechanics. Throw an interception. I don't care. NFL media drives me insane sometimes. I made a tweet about this earlier. Player that they want to see fail has a bad practice. This guy's a bum. He needs to be cut. He shouldn't be the starter. Bench him. He's a bust. Somebody that they covet has a bad practice. It's just practice. This is what it's for. This is why you practice, to get better. Iron sharpens iron. Bah. It's June 15th. I don't care. I just had to get that off my chest. Just the hypocrisy in NFL media reporting blows my mind sometimes. The back and forth, the wishy-washy, just the hypocrisy of it. Like I said, Tua could throw an interception every pass that he touches the ball on tomorrow. It's not going to change the fact that when week 1 rolls around, he's going to be the starter. When week 7 rolls around, he's going to be the starter. When week 15 rolls around, he's going to be the starter. When week 18 rolls around, he's going to be the starter. When Miami makes the playoffs next year, he's going to be the starter. He's been built around. Yes, he struggled last year. Sure. It happens with rookies. Peyton Manning struggled his rookie year. You going to tell me Peyton Manning was a bad quarterback? Oh, let's hear that one. Yep, come on. Let's hear it. Tell me how Peyton Manning was a bad quarterback because of his rookie year. I'll wait. Tua's going to be just fine. Tua could literally show up to practice in his underwear out on the field and throw nothing but interceptions for a month straight. And he'll still be the starting quarterback on week 1. And he will still throw touchdown passes. And he will still have a solid season. That's how confident I am that Tua is going to have a good sophomore season. So, NFL media needs to get off the nuts of the coveted players and start looking at as what it is. It's practice. So start looking at the guys like Tua as it's practice. Look at the guys like Cam as it's practice. I don't give a crap if Cam Newton threw 5 interceptions as well. The NFL media wants Cam Newton to fail. The NFL media wants Mac Jones to fail. Because it's clicks for them. It's practice. It's 7-on-7 drills. Get over it. They're not going to fail when the time comes. And even if they do fail when the time comes, and you get to say, see, I told you, you're not going to go back and go, oh, this tweet on June 15th when he threw 5 interceptions and 7-on-7 drills, I tried to tell you guys. No, you're not. Because it doesn't matter. That's not relatable. Now, if you go back and look at his college tape and you say, oh, yeah, well, Mac Jones did this when he was in college. This is one thing I alluded to that was going to keep him from being a successful quarterback. Tua did this in college. This is one thing that I alluded to back then that was going to keep him from being successful in the NFL. Now, if you go back and do that, sure. Don't tell me on June 15th the guy's going to fail because he threw 5 interceptions in training camp. Give me a frickin' break. Sorry, rant over on that one. NFL media. Okay, more fun talk. Madden 22. So, Madden 22 cover was teased the other day. Yesterday, I believe it was. And EA released a teaser trailer for kind of a semi-commercial for how it was going to go down. And if you notice, Peyton Hillis was in the video, which was kind of cool. And there was goats in the commercial. 2 goats, in fact, being teased. And of course, because of that, a lot of news outlets ran with Brady and Mahomes are widely suspected of being on the cover of Madden this year after EA teases with goats. Because, the Super Bowl this last year, everybody dubbed it as Goat and Baby Goat. Even though I really don't like the fact that Patrick Mahomes is being dubbed as Baby Goat yet. He's still got a lot to accomplish before he's in those conversations. But what are some other options based on the teaser? So, GOAT. GOAT. Greatest of all time. GOAT. G-O-A-T, as LL Cool J so firmly rapped about. I'm the GOAT. The greatest of all time. Well, one person that gets thrown around in that, besides Tom Brady, is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. Some would say he is a GOAT. What if we took a different spin on it? What about another Aaron? And we went defensive. Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald gracing the cover of Madden. Some say Aaron Donald is a defensive GOAT. What if Aaron Donald is actually on the cover of Madden this year? Now, with the 2 GOAT teaser, everybody assumes it's going to be 2 players. Maybe it's one alternate cover. Maybe they're one for PlayStation, one for Xbox. Who knows? Now, there's been a lot of discussions on other options for who these GOATs are going to be and who's going to be on the cover. And these combos range anywhere from the Watt brothers to Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook. So it's a long list that people are throwing out there as potential Madden cover people. But I guess we'll find out in a couple months. I want to say, don't they announce it in July? So we'll find out in less than a month. But EA does a pretty good job of not advancing the gameplay, but keeping us all interested. I'm not a Madden gamer. I'm not a gamer at all. So I take my jabs at it a little bit. It's a lot of fun. I got a lot of respect for the people that play it, but I just can't do it. Last time I played Madden was probably like 04 Madden. GameCube. Yeah. I tried playing it once they did all the advanced button work. Coverage changes, audibles. And it got to be too much. Got to be too much for me. I just don't like it. It's another reason why I don't play the first-person shooter games, the Call of Duties, all that kind of stuff. I don't play any of that stuff. It's to be quite honest, it's like work. I don't want a game to be work. I want it to be enjoyable. I want it to be fun. I do like RPGs like Diablo. I do like Borderlands. Sorry, God of War. I had a fun time playing some of that stuff. I do enjoy Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, the player versus player battle. Smash Brothers was epic. Did you guys play Smash Brothers growing up? Come on, you had to. Nintendo 64 Smash Brothers? You had to. I know you guys did. You're nerds like me. GoldenEye was a lot of fun. GoldenEye was probably one of the greatest player versus player shooters ever. GoldenEye was epic. Nintendo 64. It's the first game I can think of that you could go four-way split. Four-way split. Slaps. License to Kill with slaps. And then you'd play as Oddjob. Oddjob was the vertically challenged fellow. One slap, dead. Proximity mines, landmines. Man with the golden gun. One bullet, game over. Reminiscing about old school video games. Smash Brothers, though, was a jam of mine for a long time. I did love Smash Brothers. Unlocking some of the characters, getting all the trophies. It was a good time. Good time. Siphon Filter back in the day on PlayStation. Twisted Metal on the original PlayStation. My buddy and I from high school spent a lot of time playing that game. Twisted Metal. I think we beat it in every potential way, every potential combo, team combo you could. Twisted Metal 2, I'm sorry, not the original. The original was meh. Twisted Metal 2 was the good one. Tried it on PS3 with Twisted Metal 3. It was okay. Not quite as fun. Got too advanced and there was too much crap going on that really took away from the gameplay. Yeah. We used to have game night where we would get together and we'd play hockey on PlayStation back then. We'd play NCAA basketball back when they had the NCAA games. We'd play the NCAA Game Breaker, you know, all that kind of stuff on the old PlayStation. Because then you could play four-way with that after the Nintendo 64 allowed you to go four-way on some games. Then PlayStation came out with their multi-tap and you could go four-way. It was a lot of fun. We did a lot of that fun stuff back then. Back when gaming was a lot easier. I just can't do... I want to buy the new Diablo game that's coming out in September. I'm already looking at that. Pre-order for it's up, and I think I'm going to buy it. I love Diablo. The downside, too, is I love the PC version. The console version was okay, but this is basically a remastered version of Diablo 2, and I'm all for it. I'm here for it. I'm ready to go. I love Diablo. It's a fantastic game. The cinema of it is fantastic. The story arc is incredible, and I love it. If you have not played the Diablo series by Blizzard, I highly encourage it. They do have the Diablo 3 for the PS3 and PS4, and I believe it's on Xbox as well. I highly recommend checking it out. We're a big gaming show here. Sports Stuff Hub Live is a big gaming show, apparently. Yeah, sorry guys, I had chat down for a minute. I had chat down. Let me scroll back. 2 is gonna ball. E, what's up, bud? Y'all want me? Y'all don't want me on the sticks. Should, by the way, smack peeps. It's gonna be Brady, maybe Montana. MLB the Show guy, Dave. All right. Our card league needs to get going more. Our card league. I don't know what card league is. E, missed the sign up. Yeah, sorry, I did not have chat up. Jump in, we have a spot still. Kick someone that hasn't played. He does. He ignores me because I get off topic sometimes. You do, Dave, but I try to always catch what you're saying. Crawford lead off homer. Boom. I'm confirmed for two tables both days. Oh, you're coming to Auburn in 2 weeks, E? Is that what you're saying? Confirmed for 2 tables for both days. If you ever see this, try to ask Ron to be next to each other. You gotta, if you want it, you gotta get there early, E. Um, you were supposed to be next to me the last time you were here, and then when you told me you were going to be late, I told him because he came up to me about 8:30 and he was like, "Is E coming?" And I was like, "Yeah." He messaged me and said he was on his way. He was just going to be a little bit late, and he ended up having to give your table to somebody else, and you know. But if you get there early enough, he'll do it. I would recommend getting there between 7:30 and 8 a.m. Honestly, if because you're driving over from over there, I would say come in the night before. Honestly, I would. We show up to the mall by 7:30, and we're maybe the 4th or 5th table that starts setting up. Sometimes upwards of 10 people are there before us, but that's rare. But yeah, definitely, I would show up 7:30. Because there's customers, because the mall doors are open. There's customers that start showing up by 8:30 sometimes. Oh, have a good one, Donnie. We'll catch you later. All right. Well, we are about to rip. We're gonna do. Yeah, the show technically doesn't start till 10, but some of the early buyers do show up by 8:30. I appreciate that, Donnie. Thank you very much. All right, we are going to go over and we are going to rip a box tonight. Got a Bowman Mega Box for us to rip tonight. So we're going to rip one box tonight. Don't forget tomorrow night, and I haven't even talked about this. My God, I am slacking big time, guys. I updated 500 plus cards on the website with pricing. Singles are updated. So go check that out. I'm adding a lot more on the website over the next few days. I am going to have a jam-packed... The card shows the next couple months are going to be jam-packed on my tables. I mean, I'm dead serious. I'm increasing capacity exponentially. So, be watching for deals on the website. Stuff's getting posted. So be checking that out. Group breaks tomorrow night. Get your spots. We have a lot of spots left in Prism PYT, and it's going to go off. I'm telling you, we've got a one-boxer random division. That one's only $52 to get in, which is cheap for a random division. We've got a PYT starting at $12, and it's a 2-box hobby PYT. And I'm going to set, you guys know this, I'm going to set a bounty on stuff. So grab your spots. I'm also doing, for the first time since 2018, I'm bringing back the Master Box Challenge. The game invented right here at Sports Stuff Hub. The Master Box Challenge is returning, and we are using 2019 Bowman Sterling Baseball. I need 4 participants. Don is already in. I need 3 more participants that want to face off with Don. You lose nothing buying into this break. You get every card in your mini box. You could potentially win a second mini box, though. 1 person out of the 4 will win. Get your spots in that one. Don is waiting for challengers. He needs people to play with. That sounded bad. I apologize, Don. That sounded really bad. Although it was funny, it sounded bad. But we need the challengers for that one. That is a fun game. I'm telling you, that is one of the most fun games I've ever invented for break night. We also have a 2-tier random team certified basketball break. every spot, it's only got 15 spots. Every spot gets 2 teams. You get a top 15 team and a bottom 15 team in terms of value. Not in terms of how bad the team is. In terms of value for the product. You get 2 tiers. So make sure that you get into that as well. Because that is only like, I don't even remember what the price is on that one, but it's not expensive. I'll tell you. Hang on. I got it right here. $32 for 2 teams. Random. 2 random teams. $32. Can't beat that. Can't beat that. So, make sure you get those spots because we are ripping tomorrow night. We go live at 4. I want to have these things filled. Masterbox Challenge only has 4 spots. That's not hard. PYT. I mean, come on. There's still some really good teams left. Get those. Score big. We're gonna pull fire. You guys saw, by the way, the Break Hall of Fame. If you go to the website and you click on the breaks link, the breaks tab, excuse me, and you scroll down to where the breaks are, scroll up just a little bit above it where all the instructions are, and it tells you there's a little link that says check out the Break Hall of Fame. Go check out the Break Hall of Fame. I'm telling you, that Break Hall of Fame is loaded with fire. Now, the Break Hall of Fame is only cards that were pulled in group breaks. That has not been my hot hand over the last couple of years, or the last year of my own personal rips. This is only what I've pulled for you guys. This is only stuff I've pulled for other people. This is not my own stuff. Okay? The Break Hall of Fame is only that stuff. And it is jam-packed already. It is a photo gallery of fire. As Dave likes to call it, the Fire Squad. Well, guys, guess what? That is straight up fire. It is so hot in that break gallery, I thought it was going to burn down. Almost couldn't even finish building it. Thought it was going to burn down. Yes, get in. We're not doing... Oh, yeah, sorry. That's Bowman in front of you guys. Sorry. Bray and I have some to battle. We are going to get, when Museum Collection comes out in a couple weeks, we are going to be doing Master Box challenges with Museum Collection as well. But let's focus, because in 2019 Bowman Sterling, you can pull Vladdy, Soto, Acuna, Wander, Trout. All those autos are loaded in Bowman Sterling. And here's the great thing about it. Not one card that you get in your box will potentially be random to somebody else. You don't have to worry if you hit a dual player card or a multiplayer card. You don't have to worry about losing that card in a random. You get everything in your box. Now, the fun thing about a Master Box Challenge, not only are you guaranteed what you have, the cool thing about it, you may have the most valuable card in the break and still lose. How about them apples? You could pull a Mike Trout auto out of 25. Okay? And somebody else lands a Alex Bregman auto out of 10 and wins the Master Box. But you won hitting a Mike Trout auto out of 25. That's the fun thing about a Master Box Challenge. There are no losers. And even if you lose, you win. And even if you win, you could lose. But winning and losing is still winning. If you're winning but not losing, there's a lot. Winning. That was the whole point. Winning. Well, David, I hope you have fun in San Diego tomorrow. That's all that matters, is you're going to have fun. So, because you're going to have fun. Simple as that. All right, guys, we're going to get on to our Bowman Mega Box rip for tonight. I picked up one Bowman Mega Box. I lied. I picked up more than one Bowman Mega Box, but this is the only one that I had for the show. So, we're going to rip this. 2021 Bowman Mega Box. Compliments of Tarjay. Target online, I should say. Because I did not go to the store to get this. I have not gone and looked for retail in a while. Long while. I don't really go. So you get 2 Bowman Mega Packs. These are the ones that have the Mojos. We are going to start with our 4 regular packs. Okay? Because we're going to open the whole thing tonight. Which, by the way, I have a few more of these from the other Mojo, or the other Megas that I opened. I may give away tomorrow night. You can't win unless you're in the breaks. So, we're going to start. Now, these packs do not have any colors. They do not have any autos. Just so you guys know. Starting it off, hey, there you go. Alec Boehm right out the gate. Arenado, Soto, Judge, Yastrzemski. We get a chrome of Nick Lofton, chrome prospect, and an Ivan Johnson chrome Bowman first. Tyler Freeman, CJ Chatham, and there we go. Blaze Jordan paper right out the gate. First pack. Blaze Jordan, Bowman first paper. Can't hate that. Just because these packs are dry, this is the same thing I said in 2018. I used to, when I grabbed so much freaking Bowman in 2018, and I got a bunch of these Bowman Mega Boxes, and I just opened the Mojos because I had so much Bowman that I just didn't open the rest of the basic packs. But you can still get great cards in these because of the chromes. This is how I got so many freaking Luis Robert Bowman first chromes, was because of this kind of stuff. Joe Adell base rookie. There we go. Cabrian Hayes, Spencer Howard base rookie. Where did I put my... Yeah, whatever. Marte, Vato, Jonathan India chrome, and Paguero chrome. Austin Hendrick, James Beard, and Mick Abel paper. So you definitely have an opportunity to get some decent Bowman first chromes out of this, and Bowman first paper. There's nothing wrong with the paper. It may not be as valuable, but it's still a Bowman first, and you can still get some pretty good cards. Keston, Posey, Cole, Meadows, and we get Boo Bitch rookie. Bobby Miller chrome. Jackson Kowar chrome. Shoemake, Groshans, and Fulton. What's up, Taylor? I'm glad that I read remodel in that, because if you just said, oh my god, this bathroom's a nightmare, then say, well, you probably ate the wrong food. Tyler Stevens, Anderson Tejada, Joey Bart, and Nate Pearson base rookies. Xander Bogaerts, Robert Pawson, and Yusniel Diaz chromes. Nolan Jones, Gunnar Henderson, and Ed Howard. Now, guys, we get to the fun part. Now comes the Mega Box packs. The Mojos. The Mojos. So, here is the look of a Mojo refractor. Okay? Starting it off with Jonathan India. Guys, we've got gold. We've got gold. JJ Bleday, and our gold is Alexander Ramirez, first Bowman, numbered 31 of 50. Boom. Right on. CJ Abrams and Jose Tena. Not bad for the first pack. Not too shabby. Let's see what our last pack of Mojo brings us. Drew Waters. Bryson Stott. Joe Adell, Rookie of the Year favorites. Jake Vogel. Also, not a bad one. And Mick Abel. So that was one mega box of Bowman Baseball with the Mojo Refractors with a Alexander Ramirez Gold 31 of 50. What a beauty. I like gold. All right. Tonight, I'm going to give away Blaze Jordan, Bowman First Paper. And I'm going to give away a Mojo. Rookie of the Year favorites, Mojo, Joe Adell. Those are going to be the two cards we give away tonight. I'm going to move these out of the way first before we get any further. Before we give away the Mojo. Let's see if I still have the right screen up. I don't, but I can fix that. Give me a moment. I just got to adjust the size. Hang tight. I hate when it does that. Give me the right size to begin with. I was waiting for somebody to chime in with that. Thank you, E. I try to set people up to be able to come back with that. Not everybody catches on. All right, who's in and who wants to win? Just type me in the chat if you want to win one of the Blaze Jordan or the Joe Adell. I gotta adjust my screen a little bit more, apparently. There we go. Well, hopefully you feel good, E. I'm getting mine on Thursday. Got to get it done before the National, so bite the bullet and get it done. All right, Miller. Shane. Taylor. Oh boy. I think that's all we have anyways, so let's just get rolling with this. We're going to roll the dice. Well, we got 3 people, so I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to add another one to it. Let's do, did I hit another mojo first of somebody? Yeah, I got Vogel. Let's do Vogel. Vogel's got a lot of potential. We're going to add a 3rd card to it. That way everybody wins. We're going to do Jake Vogel. Mojo. Come on, separate, you stinking top loaders. So we got 3 people in the random. We're adding Jake Vogel, Mojo Bowman first. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3 in that order. Blaze, Joe, Vogel. All right, random. Here we go. 5. We're going to randomize the list 5 times. 1. Good luck, everybody. 2, 3, 4, and 5th and final. Taylor winning the Blaze Jordan. Shane winning the Joe Adele, and Miller winning the Jake Vogel. Congrats, guys. You are very, very welcome. Thank you for tuning in tonight. So, all right. So we're gonna wrap up a little bit early again tonight. We do have Dean coming on next week. I forgot something. Didn't have this in my notes. Our June loyalty break is confirmed, unless they push the product back. Our June loyalty break is going to be, drum roll. I need sound effects. I need a drum roll. Our June loyalty break is going to be 2021. 2020-21 Panini Noir basketball. You guys thought I was going to say National Treasures there for a second, didn't you? Yeah, no. Noir basketball is going to be our loyalty break for the month of June. So get your spots in breaks, get qualified. If you haven't joined in every single break so far, you're not going to be able to get a second spot at the loyalty cost. So, get your spot for one. I'll announce it on Twitter, on social media and stuff in the next, well, tonight probably, and tomorrow, and over the next couple weeks. Yeah, so Noir Basketball is releasing at the end of the month, and that is going to be our June loyalty break product. I got to make sure that we have enough time to get it here. Yeah, because the June loyalty break will take place on the 7th of July. So make sure you get qualified for Noir Basketball, and that's going to be our big loyalty break for this month. If we have enough people, I will throw in a second break of something. I don't know what yet. Maybe I can get a second box of Noir. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know yet. But we're going to continue to grow it. So with everything going on right now, we are going to continue pushing forward. Make sure you get all your friends in for break night. Get everybody. We need to keep growing this. We've got to continue pushing forward. We got to move that needle. We got to get more people in. We've done a good job at getting some people in. We've got to get more. I want to have these breaks start selling out ahead of time so we can get right to break night, to start with. The more momentum we get with getting breaks rolling, the easier they're going to be to continue filling. So it's been a blast, though. I'm having a lot of fun doing this, and we need to, we're going to continue pushing and getting stuff moved and keep going towards that goal of opening up a card shop. I'm not stopping until goal is achieved. So did I just lose everybody? I just lost my screens. Okay, and it's back up. So that's going to be the push. We're going to push to get a card shop opened. I'm going to be pushing to get people hired. We're going to keep moving forward. As this continues to grow, we are going to continue to move forward. So obviously the card shows are instrumental in that. Going to the National in July, the end of July. I'm going to the Dallas Card Show in August as a vendor. The National I'm going just to buy and just to go to the National. I've never been to one. I'm not going as a vendor to the National. I'm going to the Dallas Card Show as a vendor in August, though. So if you're somebody that likes going to the big national shows, the big regional shows, go check it out. I'll be there. Come say hi. Card show in 2 weeks or in a week and a half in Auburn. Stop on in. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a big show. All right, so that about does it for Sports Stuff Hub Live tonight. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. And, yeah, tomorrow night's break night. Be live at 4 o'clock Pacific. Right here on YouTube. Make sure you go in, get your spots, because it is a loaded break night. It is going to be a lot of fun. Do not sleep on these breaks. We are adding to the Break Hall of Fame tomorrow. Mark my words. So I will see you guys all tomorrow for break night. And those of you who are not on for break night, I will see you next week right here at Sports Stuff Hub Live on Tuesday night. Have a good night, everybody. Stay safe.